Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? It's me. I'm here. I'm back on the internet doing stuff as opposed to being only on Instagram doing stuff. And yeah, so basically to explain what I'm doing here on your screen today, uh basically for a while I had a series going where I would rank devil fruits, and then I had a series going where I ranked stands from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But then it occurred to me, you know what I haven't covered? Video games. And I want to cover video games. But it's kind of hard to cover a video game's power system without going into like lore and other weird crazy stuff. And I just wanted to I started this off thinking I just wanted to do like an overview of a given Warframe or whatever they would be, like daily videos going over who this Warframe is, what they do, where they came from, lore and gameplay mechanics and all that stuff. But then it kind of occurred to me that uh, in order to do that in any sort of coherent way, I need to do this video first to sort of introduce you guys all to the concept of Warframe. So, uh, first things first, let's switch over to gameplay. And as you guys can see, I got all these things. The Not all of these things will be available to you guys at first, but this will. This is the orbiter. This is where your character hangs out on a daily basis. That's the shop terminal. That's the Palm 2 PC. That's announcements and news stuff. Railjack. Uh, Standing stuff. This is the lore place. This is where you go to get all of the lore that you've discovered. That's just a nice little pot. And over here we have navigation. Basically, this is the solar system, or the Sol system. And all of these planetary bodies are places that you can travel to. And within these planetary bodies, there are nodes that you can go to complete missions at certain locations. I Let's see. What So basically, you start on Earth, and once you complete a given amount of missions on Earth, like in order, that's why these are all connected, because you have to complete certain missions to get to other certain missions. Then you can go to these junctions, and that's how you go between planets. Well, until you unlock the entire star chart, which I have. Uh, there's also, in terms of star chart, the Steel Path, which I have not fully unlocked, but basically, it just increases the, like, level of all the enemies by 100. So, where you would usually be fighting level 1 enemies, you are now fighting level 100 enemies, and so on and so forth. Aside from that, there's, well, you got open world areas, that's what these little triangle spaces are. The Cetus, you got Cetus and Fortuna and uh the Necrolisk and the Sanctum Anatomica. This you won't unlock until a bit later, but the other things, those are like areas where you can meet NPCs, you can get bounties, you can do just a whole bunch of stuff, though admittedly they do pretty much only exist on Deimos, Earth, and Venus. It's not really, because those are the only places that really have an open world area. The rest of it is mostly missions. Well, I guess there's Zeraman, but you guys will not see this when you're first starting out the game. This is like a later thing. So, let's see what to cover next. Yes, what is a Warframe? Well, basically, Warframes are weapons of war created from human bodies. Some willingly, some not. The lore here gets considerably dark, so just a little warning for you there. Uh, you'll notice that I'm just going to claim here. This is the foundry. This is basically where all of your stuff gets built. See, I got Varuna Prime cooking up here. I got temple stuff. I just claimed Corvex stuff. Those are all names of Warframes. And let me tell you, there are a lot of Warframes. I just go to the swap menu and you can see all of these. And then there's like some of these are duplicates of ones that I have, but others are just like uh ones that I don't have. But let me tell you, this is Folly. She's the most recent Warframe to our edition, and she makes 64. Yeah, 64 Warframes. And last I checked, I had roughly 60 of those 64 Warframes. So, not to say that I'm an expert at Warframe, but I think I know at least a little bit or a little bit enough of each Warframe to kind of
Well
know
put together, operator. Now get out
what all
there
of their
and
gimmicks are, what
cut
some of their
down the...
lore is,
and make the Lotus proud.
uh, just anything that anyone would really need to know. Another thing I'm going to be going over, acquisition. See, there's a bunch of different tiers of acquisition, or like levels of difficulty of acquisition. See, another thing that you're gonna unlock eventually at some point, this little thing, the Duviri Paradox. It'll come into play later down the line. It's a lore-based unlocking thing, but basically, when you unlock this, the Duviri Paradox, you can eventually get to this, the circuit. And the circuit is a way where you can, every week, there's a rotation, and it basically gives you a choice of 3 Warframes for the week that you can obtain. Uh, I haven't progressed through mine to get to Oberon just because this is Oberon. I haven't progressed through this to get to him just because I believe I already have him, and even if I don't, it's kind of whatever because I know how to get him otherwise. Other than that, there are assassinations. Each planet will have an assassination mission. I think that's here.
You're
You got
making this
Captain
too...
Boar. You got the Jackal on Venus. You got what's over here?
More of
Vayhek.
these...
You got basically you got assassinations, and each assassination will at some point reward you, or upon completing the assassination contract, you will be rewarded with a part blueprint for a Warframe. What Warframe that is depends on the assassination mission that you're going into. This is why, uh, although a bunch of Warframes can be acquired through assassinations, I would arguably say that some of them are harder to do than others. For example, Jackal on Venus. Probably the easiest boss fight in this game. I would even say it's easier than the assassination on Earth with Vayhek. However, if you go over here to, what is this, Eris, you have the Jordis Golem, which is not only a giant pile of infested goop, it's also a giant pile of infested goop that flies through space. So yeah, you need your Arcwing to get through that. Speaking of Arcwing, I should probably show you what that is. You're not gonna have it in base game, obviously. I'm very considerably well progressed, but basically, you have Arcwings and you can fly too. It's pretty cool. And then there's even this big guy, and you can get this big guy too because why not? This is quite frankly a game of a lot of different stuff. The lore is crazy, the gameplay mechanics are crazy, the weapons are crazy, the foundry, you got pets, I got a dog over here. This dog, he's a Kubro, but basically just a highly evolved dog. Don't ask why they evolved into this. You got you got mods which you can attach to Warframes or weapons or other such things to increase their power. Then you got arcanes, which do basically the same thing, but you can only have two of them on a given Warframe as opposed to the usual eight. And also, their effects tend to be conditional. So, like, on health pickup, plus 24 max health, or like gain 6% ability strength for every 250 max health up to a certain amount, which is that one particularly is one of my favorites. There's also the Nightwave, which you do have access to right off the bat, and
Hey,
which is completely free, despite the fact that it's basically a battle pass. And you can complete all these missions and all this stuff, and it gets you standing with the Nightwave,
coming up next.
and so on and so forth. As I mentioned over here, this is the lore place. This is where you can see all the quests, all the different quests, and all the. These are like Warframe specific quests. Like this is how you get Protea. This is how you get Sevagoth. This is how you get. I don't remember who you get with this. And then there's these side quests which don't have a particular amount of value. Well, I except with the exception of Veilbreaker. Veilbreaker is amazing. Uh then you got these main quests: Boar's Prize, Once Awake, the Arcwing. That's what I was talking about earlier. Chains of Harrow. That's dope. Sacrifice. Deviri Paradox. What I mentioned earlier. Angels of the Zeraman. That's how you get the Zeraman. Jade Shadows, which is actually going to be getting a sort of a sequel to it, which is amazing. Sequel is going to be coming later this year. Don't know exactly how much later, but later. You got a list of Warframes, factions, weapons, more lore stuff. You got the Lavarian, which only has a select amount of Warframes in it, but I will go into that in some of my videos. Uh, you got all this sort of training on like damage types, upgrades and mods, clans, sentinels, advanced movement. Then you got all these different kinds of missions. What I mentioned earlier: assassinations, capture, defense, excavations, exterminate, hijack, hive sabotage, interception, invasion, mobile defense, recovery, rescue, sabotage, spy, survival, Cephalon capture, annihilation, team annihilation, Lunaro, and railjack missions. I am at the 14-minute mark, and I've barely gotten into everything that I want to tell you guys about. I'll be releasing my video on this Warframe you see before you, Ash. Oh yeah, this is Ash Prime, not base Ash. But in that video, I'll be going over Ash, their abilities, what mods I'd like to put on them, their augments, which are basically just mods that change around how abilities work. I'll also have to save the explanation for Prime Warframes and Exalted Weapons until then, because I am almost out of time to make this video possible for YouTube. But regardless, I hope that this sort of like 15-minute overview has given you guys some insights, and I will see you later. later.